What up guys, Dragon Ball for Life here today. I'm back with another video. Now today's video I'm going to be reacting to Death Battle's Hulk versus Doomsday. Now I haven't reacted to, Death Battle in quite a while. I think my last Death Battle video I had was, I'm trying to remember what was my last one. Maybe I think Magneto versus Tetsugo. That I think was my last one, but yeah, I haven't done it in a while. I've done a couple of Death Battle videos, and usually those are my highest rated videos. I get the most amount of views on those, but I don't want to react to just every and any Death Battle. If I don't care about the characters or I don't have any knowledge at all about certain characters, I'm not going to waste my time watching it. Because there were a couple of other ones that came out. It's just that a lot of the matchups they had I really didn't care about, to be honest. So yeah, I didn't watch it. Also, the next season's coming out, so they're taking a hiatus for a while, and they're going to be dropping it out later, and I don't even know what the matchup is going to be. So that will be coming in more in the future. If they do drop out a future, Death Battle, which is cool, then I'll definitely check it out and watch it with you guys. But for right now, I just felt like there was nothing for me to really watch from theirs. So I thought, you know what? How about I go back to their older videos and go to some ones that I do have some concern or care about. And in today's video, we're going to be reacting to Hulk versus Doomsday. Because, for one, I know both these characters. These characters are big, comic book characters. They're very powerful. And I absolutely love the Hulk. I think the Hulk is he's my favorite, not only superhero, he's not only my favorite comic book character, but in general, he's just my favorite fictional character of all time. I know some of you guys might think, well, I thought Goku or, Beerus or any of the Dragon Ball characters would be. I do love Dragon Ball characters, but the Hulk, for me, always has a special place in my heart. He is easily my favorite fictional character of all time. I just love him. And I really don't like Doomsday. I don't care about him. But even with that being said, I'm not going to be biased here. I'm just going to see it thoroughly. Though, I will say that I do know who won this one. It was Doomsday, and I remember a lot of people hated it and said they had problems with it. And personally, for me, I don't disagree with everything that Death Battle says, unlike other people. But that doesn't mean I'm just going to discredit anything any of their arguments. So let's get into it.
Before we get into the episode, I have Steve.
I'm just going to skip some stuff.
And pick it up by November 15th. Usually, in a stressful situation, you'd want to a paging pile of and Doomsday. It's our job to analyze.
Sorry, I'm going to be skipping quite a bit here and there.
Within each of us, oft times, there dwells a minus Bruce.
I'm going to especially skip the, the backstory stuff, because we don't need a backstory on these characters. I'm going to obviously go back or pause on when they have feats and statements. So, hey, Hulk is 8 feet 8 inches. And Bruce Banner's 5'10". He weighs 2,400 pounds. Personally, I feel like, what the hell? So you're telling me Bruce Banner's 5'10", but only weighs 128. He weighs less than a woman. Average woman weighs 145 pounds, and average height 5'4". This guy is he's in the average range of a male height, but way, way lighter. Okay. 8'8", that seems kind of small. I would expect the Hulk to be at least 10 feet tall. So if he's only 8'8", that's small. If I'm being honest, that makes Broly bigger than the Incredible Hulk, which is weird to think.
Popularity, he made up tenfold with his intellect. However, in spite of his gifts, it was never marked that is pretty thoroughly. Places, understandably traumatized. You did well.
I love the Hulk story, but I don't feel like it's necessary in this video.
Bruce's friend served to Bruce to make Webom, which means that really his harmonic on that string. Bruce's body is ridiculously strong. He can leap great distances, survive the harshest environments, and most importantly, smash the crap out of everything with his bare fists. He also knows a technique known as the thunderclap, which creates a shockwave that can deafen foes, level forests, and push back explosions. As if he needed anything more than that, the Hulk has a healing factor that gives Wolverines a run for his money.
You're healing. You should be dead.
He's super strong and super hard to kill. What's not the...
I mean, technically, he has a better healing factor than Wolverine, because he can die and come back to life anytime he wants. Yes, multiple comic book characters do that, but they also have some other means of coming back. He can just walk through the green door and come back to life. That's why he's immortal.
Well, there's one little detail that kind of ruins the... It's his own being, and they both hate each other. Fought how much forever? You might as well fool, and even the elite Earth's gravitational pull has held up a one.
Okay, so these are the feats. Let's go through them.
Eventually joining the Avengers, Defenders, the Fantastic Four, and even the Illuminati. Hulk has held up a 150 billion ton mountain, escaped Earth's gravitational pull with a single jump. And one time when a planet's tectonic plates started splitting apart, threatening to shatter the whole world, he just jumped right in there and pulled the planet back together.
Yep.
The estimated average mass of a single lithospheric plate is nearly 45 quintillion tons, and the Hulk pulled two of these together with nothing but his...
That's crazy that it's nearly 45 quintillion tons when the entire Earth, including it being in outer space, which makes it 1,000 times lighter, is like around, I think, 6.66 sextillion tons, which is a lot more, quite a bit more than quintillion, but still, that's quite a lot. The fact that just the tectonic plates are 45 quintillion tons, and then the entire Earth as a whole is just 6.6, sextillion tons. It's just crazy to think.
Hands. And he's not just strong and tough. He's more than twice as fast as a fighter.
Okay, destroyed asteroid twice Earth size. Yep. Regenerate half of his body in 18 minutes. I don't know about 18 minutes. I think he did faster. He's had his body completely obliterated to the point where he just boned and came back. Pulled two continental plates together, created earthquakes with footsteps. I think that was the World War Hulk storyline. Destroyed a planet. That was the World Destroyer Hulk storyline. Escape Earth's window. Withstood fame from Foom's fire breath. He has more impressive feats than this, to be honest. He has far more. This seems like more on the lower end of his impressive feats. I think his most impressive feat was taking out Onslaught, who was a reality warper, and this guy was kind of like an immortal being, and once when he destroyed the shell, he was just basically incorporating himself in the universe.
Which puts him over Mach 5 speeds.
Yeah, that's also something people need to realize is the Hulk is a lot faster than people think. People think he's just the whole thing he is. He's just super strong and has regeneration. No, he also has enhanced speed. Obviously not on the level of like something like Superman or Wonder Woman and stuff, but he does have high combat speed, a lot faster than people give him credit for.
At least, and he can always go faster if he's pissed off enough. This is because the Savage Hulk's strength is directly related to his anger. The angrier he gets, the more powerful he becomes. In theory, this means his maximum level of strength is potentially infinite. And when he taps into that immeasurable rage to the fullest, he truly lives up to his name of Worldbreaker. Bigger, stronger, and oozing with gamma radiation, the Worldbreaker Hulk is so powerful, with a single stump he created earthquakes felt hundreds of miles away. In his battle with Sentry, basically Marvel Superman, they almost destroyed New York. And when battling another Worldbreaker Hulk, a single collision between them obliterated an entire planet. Even the mutant Darwin's power, which specifically adapts to counter any enemy,
Yeah, the cool thing about the World War Hulk storyline when he fought Sentry, people say that they were equal, but technically he actually beat Sentry. What happened was they were fighting and Sentry basically went to his more depowered state, and Hulk lost his he lost his Hulk state and went back to Bruce Banner. And people are like, well, that means that they both equaled out. But that's not true, because even though he went diverted back to Bruce Banner, instantly right afterwards he came back into his Hulk form when he found out I forgot what his name was. It was this one bug creature that he became friends with on the Planet Hulk storyline. This guy basically ended up killing A-Bomb, and he finds out that this guy was the one who set off his explosion to his ship to explode, killing his wife and stuff. So he was the reason that it all led to this. And because of that enraged the Hulk, and the Hulk basically, he transforms once again, kills him, goes super nuclear, and is about to destroy everything. And then he's even begging them, he's like, take me out right now before I destroy this entire world. Which Tony Stark got his satellites to hit him with a big laser beam. He allowed it to happen. It's not like the laser beam just took him out. He allowed it to happen, and then depowered him, and then let himself get taken. So yeah, the Hulk is stronger than Sentry in that in his World War Hulk phase, because yes, they did look like they evened out, but right afterward, quickly, the Sentry was knocked out, whereas he was still able to stand, went back to his Hulk form, had to be taken out by a laser and allowed it, and then later on in the future event, where he is fighting, that's Betty Ross, who is the Red Hulk, Red She-Hulk. When she fights him and stuff, he does also mention in that comic book storyline, the World Breaker Hulk storyline, he explains that while he was all the stuff he was doing in New York, he was actually holding back. Yeah, he was pretty much holding back in New York, just showcasing how ridiculously powerful this guy is. The fact that he was still holding back there, so he had even more power than that.
Decided that the best defense against the Hulk was to be somewhere else. Holy hell! Who could even stand up to this madness? Not many, obviously. Typically, Bruce does his best to contain and limit the Hulk's power. In fact, Worldbreaker Hulk is a result of Bruce relinquishing that control entirely. In terms of combat, usually only cosmic beings like Silver Surfer or Zeus have the might to challenge the Hulk. Oh yeah, like that one time Zeus hit him so hard it burned out his healing factor.
Just know that Zeus, he's like a Sky Father or an All Father type of level being, so equivalent to Odin. And Odin, if you know anything, he's been argued and stated to be, you know, able to not only easily destroy a universe, but multiple universes, be multiversal, whatever. So him getting beaten the hell out of by Zeus is far more impressive. I know they're gonna be like, well, he got beaten and stuff like this, but remember, this guy is way stronger than Doomsday. If he used to fight Doomsday, one bolt of lightning would be able to obliterate Doomsday. So that's not even a fair comparison. Like, the guy who's fighting was a lot stronger. Also, they're saying he burned out his healing factor. That isn't true. The Hulk allowed himself to do this. Hulk, what happened was, I forgot what event it was, but he was mad at himself and he wanted to punish himself. So to punish himself, he fought Zeus, and he allowed Zeus. He didn't allow Zeus to beat him up, but he wanted Zeus to whoop the shit out of him, and he basically did. He was fighting back a little, obviously, to enrage him, but he wanted to be beaten, and he just allowed himself to be taken like that. Though I still think even if he was to go all out, he would have still lost to Zeus. But they're trying to make this as an argument, saying if he fights Doomsday, Doomsday can just burn out his healing factor. No, Hulk chose that. Don't try to lie and say Doomsday can do this or that. And on top of that, it's already been shown and proven that he's immortal. So his healing factor is unstoppable. There's no limit to it. You can even literally kill the guy and he'll come back. And I think later on they stated, I remember I watched like only towards the end of this death battle the first time when it came out, they stated that if you completely obliterate him, he can't come back, which is not true. The Hulk can come back no matter what. The Green Door is basically another dimension. If he gets completely wiped out, he can come back. This happened to Doc Samson. He completely died and he came back in another person's body, like another Gamma Mutate's body. I think his name was a Sasquatch, so he came back in his body. So even if that does happen, he'll probably come back in somebody else's body. But I highly doubt that. I think he has more of a connection to it, so I think he'll just come back fully.
But even gods sometimes have to learn the hard way. You do not mess with the Incredible Hulk.
I am a god, you dull creature. And I will not...
No, was hatred and aggression, violence and pain. One day be known as Krypton.
Damn, so you're telling me Doomsday is taller than the Hulk? It's weird because when I see Doomsday standing next to Superman and the other characters, yeah, he's big, but he's never looked like he was that much bigger, you know? Like, it's weird. But I also thought he would have been bigger. It's weird that Broly's bigger than both these guys. And actually, it's even more ridiculous the fact that in real life, the tallest man was taller than both the Incredible Hulk and Doomsday. Think about that. Just a human, even though he was an exceptional human, the world's tallest human was over 9 feet tall. He was bigger than both the Hulk and Doomsday. That's ridiculous to think of.
A scientist named Bertrand intended to engineer the ultimate life form. Yep, it's another one of those stories, but with one hell of a twist. See, at this time, Krypton was a harsh wasteland filled with nothing but sharp rocks, poisonous air, and violent predators. Bertrand believed that if he could create something that could live through that, they could survive just about anywhere. To realize this theory, Bertrand acquired an infant from somewhere, and through a rapidly accelerated evolution process, attempted to... to do it be strong. Then at 30 straight years of baby murder, one of the clones finally survived the ultimate baby. But to the rest of the universe, was a good idea. Successful as Bertrand's usually let him kill to hate. As a result, Doomsday had been unintentionally programmed at a genetic level to hate everything that lives. Bummer. Needless to say, Bertrand was pretty screwed. Because even with 30 years of development, Bertrand had never quite figured out what to do if his experiment actually worked. Because Bertrand is the worst. I mean, he did do what he set out to do. He monster that doesn't need to eat, breathe, or have internal organs to live. It just kills and kills and kills some more.
Doomsday possesses enormous strength, incredible durability.
If killed, will revive, immune to cause of death, quickly adapts to foes' attacks. Let me get into this. This is where they used it mostly to give him the win in the thing. So his two of them I want to talk about. Quickly adapts to foes' attacks. No, that's not true. He does not quickly adapt to his foes' attacks. He does adapt through dying and coming back, but as in the middle of a fight, he does not adapt. That's not how it works. He has to die to adapt. We've seen him fight Superman countless times, and he hasn't done anything different or more unique the times he fought him. Like, yes, you might have some comic book instances, and I know some of you guys will be like, well, in this comic book he did this, or that comic book he did that, but most of the times he barely changes. He has the same sets, like movesets and stuff. He doesn't really change that much. Also, the whole he dies and he comes back, he's immune to it. No, he is not immune to it. He has more of a resistance. That is a complete lie. Because basically by that, what they're saying is, if he dies a certain way, then he comes back, that way you can never kill him again. So he can keep on coming back, and depending on if you kill him through every possible way, there will be at a point where he comes back and you cannot kill him at all. That is not true. He does not come back completely immune. Let's say like he dies to an explosion. Superman sets off, hits him with his heat vision, and it blows him up, and it kills him, and he comes back. Now, if Superman does that again, they're basically saying that Superman can't kill him that way. That is incorrect. He will have more of an immunity to that explosive damage. He will be able to have a body be able to handle it more, but it's not to the point where it has no effect on him. It's just going to be harder to kill him that same way. So the way it happens is every time he's killed a certain way, he comes back and adapts to that and becomes harder to kill that way. It's easier to kill him a different way instead of going the same route. So if you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, all you're going to do is just amplify his stats boost on that one specific way of killing him, and no longer will be as effective as it once was. But that's not true. If you read the comic books, he dies mostly the same way anyway. It's not like he dies completely creative different ways. There's not that many ways to kill this guy. He usually dies through blunt force or through an explosion or disintegration. And he keeps on coming back, but he keeps on dying those ways. It's just that it's harder and harder to kill him those ways. That's where I think they completely over-exaggerated and gave him like a no-limit fallacy.
And poisonous spikes which can extend. But due to Bertrand's experiments, Doomsday's greatest power of all is his ability to adapt to his opponent's powers.
After taking his sweet revenge, Doomsday stowed away on a supply ship and ravaged dozens of planets until he finally found himself on Earth.
On that day, Doomsday did the unthinkable. And if you actually put him into a super sleep after several days, he kind of woke them.
Or maybe not. Turns out, whenever Doomsday dies, he just comes back to life, forever immune to whatever killed him in the first place.
See, yeah, that's not true. He's not immune. Immune means you cannot be hurt by that. I will say, he doesn't have complete immunity. He would have certain level, but not completely. They're trying to make it sound like if you kill him, he comes back, you can never kill him that way again.
Can't beat me the same way twice.
He's been punched to death by Superman, blasted apart by the Radiant's energy, brutally ripped in half, incinerated by Imperiex, and just curb stomped by a Kryptonian horde.
Practically invulnerable at this point, Doomsday's taken on Darkseid, tanking his Omega beams and beating him to near death. He single-handedly defeated most of the Justice League and took on an energy attack that wiped out a fifth of a planet.
He's punched through the Phantom Zone, battled
Survived Darkseid's Omega Beams. They might make it sound like it's powerful, but this is one of his avatars, and these avatars are usually not as powerful as a lot of people think. Yes, they're still powerful, but to a certain level that people think, no, not really. So yeah, Omega Beam's not that crazy. Battle Gog for 100 non-stop years. Okay, that's pretty impressive, but I guess that's impressive. Survived 1 million nuke equivalent explosion. Not that insane compared to what we've seen other characters do. Defeated the Justice League. Yeah, if I'm being honest, when they showed the Justice League fighting, most of them were just cannon fodder. Only a handful of them were like decent enough to deal with him. But let's be honest, Superman was the only real threat to him. Can tunnel through the center of the Earth. That's actually a cool move that he uses in the Justice game. Defeated the Green Lantern and Darkseid. If I'm being honest, I know a lot of people say Green Lanterns are powerful and stuff like that, but the Green Lanterns from all the comic books I've read are really basically cannon fodder. Every time they fight, they get completely obliterated, they're completely getting destroyed. They really don't hold up that much of weight in a fight. They're pretty trash, if I'm being honest. The Green Lanterns are pretty ass. They're really weak. And the Darkseid, I already explained the whole thing about him being an avatar and not being that powerful.
Super beings called gods for a century and even broken Wonder Woman's arms. Arms strong enough to help pull the Earth.
And during his rematch with
Still not that
Man of
crazy.
Steel, after witnessing Doomsday survive an explosion equivalent to 1 million nukes, Superman realized that the only way to stop him was to send him to the end of time.
At his most powerful, Doomsday's mere presence can boil the ocean and disintegrate buildings. A casual stroll across Africa made wildebeest an endangered species just by walking around. But what he's got in strength, he really lacks in brains.
It's kind of funny to see police officers around Doomsday. What are you going to do, handcuff him?
Not that he's dumb, he just literally lacks a brain. More often than not, Doomsday is little more than a one-track mind-killing machine. This makes his intentions predictable, and a clever opponent could use this to, say, lead him into a trap. And should that foe come up with a new way to hurt Doomsday, he could be killed.
Still, that's gonna be pretty goddamn hard to do.
This debate once it
Do about it.
I will be skipping the battle itself because I want to get straight to the ending and talk about that. Okay, let's see their analysis and the reasoning for why he would win.
Oh, that was beautiful.
With the Hulk's immeasurable power and Doomsday's impossible immortality, this truly felt
not
like
immortal.
a fight between an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
Hulk may have had the advantage in raw strength, at least at his full potential, but Doomsday could certainly hold his ground. His victories against the likes of Superman and Darkseid prove he can take a hit from someone strong enough to break planets.
And by experience, Doomsday had the speed advantage. He regularly fights foes with light speed capabilities, while that kind of speed is an extreme rarity in the Marvel Universe. In fact, the only foe that fast who Hulk's ever seemed to keep pace with in a one-on-one match was Sentry, and that was when he was at his most powerful stage, Worldbreaker Hulk.
So overall, Hulk has
Let me talk about the speed analysis. First, they say he's immortal. He's not immortal. He can come back and readapt. Somebody that's immortal is like Zamasu. He cannot be killed no matter any physical means. And there are ways to defeat an immortal being. There are specifically two ways. One, through sealing. You can either trap them in another dimension, make them an immobile being, like you know how Monster Carrot basically touch people and turn them into carrots. So you turn to an object, or put them in a dimension as an object, then they cannot really move or move out of it. Or you can do the more extreme, but it does require a higher level of power where you can obliterate them from existence. If you wipe out them all from existence, then you can do it like how Zeno did with Zamasu. I don't know why people are complaining about that, because that's the only way to kill an immortal, fully end an immortal being, is to wipe them out of existence. But I don't think Hulk has that power. Most characters don't really have that power to do that. But then again, I don't think Doomsday is, immortal. I don't think you would have to wipe him out of existence to kill him. I think you would just have to obliterate every cell and molecule in his body, like how they did with Kid Buu, and to fully kill him. But the speed, let's go back to that a little more, what they said.
And by experience, Doomsday had the speed
from his victories again, at least at his full potential, but Doomsday could certainly hold his ground. His victories against the likes of Superman and Darkseid prove he can take a hit from someone strong enough to break planets.
and by
But here's the thing about that, and this is funny because this actually contradicts this video, even though I think it did come out a little bit after this video happened. There was a comic book in DC where they had, and I think they were preluding to crossover between DC and Marvel. They were having some big event. For some reason, they still haven't done it. I think they're going to still do it in a later future, which hopefully they do. That would be cool. But what happened was, in that comic book, they were having some crossover references in both Marvel and in DC about Marvel and DC characters. And in Marvel, it was, I think, it was the story with Dr. Manhattan. It was the one with the Doomsday Clock or whatever. And as it was kind of down, Dr. Manhattan was showing different realities and stuff. And Superman was able to see stuff. And he mentions Thor talking about a godly being with a hammer and stuff. And then he mentions a green behemoth who's even stronger than Doomsday. So even by Superman's words alone, the Incredible Hulk is stronger than Doomsday. I don't know if that's exactly Doomsday Clock. If you guys want to go check that out, the final issues of it, you guys can go check it out yourself. You'll probably find it somewhere there. But it was literally stated in there by Superman himself that a behemoth, a green behemoth, obviously talking about referring to the Incredible Hulk, stronger than Doomsday. So that is incorrect. He might have fought from just looking like, Superman, Darkseid, stronger characters, but even Superman stated that, yeah, when it comes to power, the Incredible Hulk's stronger than him. So yes, he has fought powerful characters, but not characters on the strength level of the Hulk. Especially with a character who has infinite strength.
By experience,
or can reach
Doomsday
infinite
had
strength.
the speed advantage. He regularly fights foes with light speed capabilities.
This is the biggest problem I have with usually debates people using, where like, this character can move this many or that many times faster than speed of light. And I've mentioned it a couple of times in my videos talking about combat speed and travel speed. Combat speed and travel... Sorry for that, somebody came in. But combat speed and travel speed are two different things. Just because a character can go many times faster than the speed of light does not mean they can fight at that speed itself. If you see the comic books itself, it's not like Superman or Flash or these characters were actually fighting at a fast and light speed. They were actually basically mostly stationary and throwing a couple of combinations. There's nothing that indicates that they were moving at light speed in the combat scenario itself. Yes, in general, their feats do match up with faster than light speeds. And I'm not saying they're not faster than light, but when it comes to combat alone, they're not. I even mentioned in my Reverse Flash versus Goku Black video, which you guys should go check it out. I mentioned in that one, the Flash, the Flash, Barry Allen was fighting a Future Flash, and the Future Flash was beating his ass and told him, "You just rely on your speed, but you don't know how to fight. If you knew how to fight, it would be more helpful." And he was basically explaining to him that you have the speed, but you don't know how to use it properly in a fight scenario, so you're a lot slower when you're actually fighting. So yeah, I wouldn't go with that. Also, when he took out Flash, he didn't take out Flash by actually clocking him or anything. He smacked the ground, hit it so hard that it sent a shockwave, knocking Flash off of his feet. Then he capitalized on it and beat him and knocked him out. And in Superman, if you watch the fight was actually not really that fast. And the reason why I'm saying this is, when he was fighting in Superman, Lois Lane and the other reporters are reporting the fight, and you see the end of the fight when Superman dies. They have the broadcast of Superman's death. But while they were recording the fight, they were actually able to record what was happening between Superman and Doomsday while they're fighting back and forth. So if they were fighting at light speed levels of speed, guess what? The cameras wouldn't be able to pick up shit. Yes, you could say, well, what about in Dragon Ball? They did that with Cell and Goku. But Cell and Goku, they were not actually picking them up. They even mentioned that they're just tracking where they were at before because of the shockwave. Every time they collided, there was a shockwave, and they were just going right there and there. So they weren't really recording them fighting. They were recording them when they were stationary, but when they were like actually moving in combat and like moving around, they were only able to go to where they hear the sound and record that, which would be a delayed recording. But in Superman versus Doomsday, you can read the comic book. If you read it specifically and look at it, you would see that the cameraman is not having a problem following Superman and Doomsday's fight. Which, except for one time when Superman would knock him flying far back and then he had to fly. But when it's like just them standing and throwing hands, Superman and Doomsday weren't throwing hands at such a tremendous speed that it was light speed, because the cameraman can record it. If it was light speed, the camera wouldn't be able to record it, and the cameraman wouldn't be able to capture it. So yeah, that disproves that. I wouldn't say that he was, just because he fought light speed characters, that means he has combat speed at light speed
That
level.
kind of speed is an extreme rarity in the Marvel universe. It was Sentry, and that was when he was at his most powerful stage.
I don't know why that's a problem. I mean, the whole point of these death battles is to have these characters in their strongest forms. Like, if we were going to use the strongest form, then he would be able to do it.
Throatbreaker Hulk. So overall, Hulk had strength and Doomsday had speed, but neither completely outclassed the
Hulk
other.
has speed,
At first
too.
glance, this one looked like it could go either way.
Which means the devil's in the very tiny details.
So why couldn't the Hulk's infinite strength just keep rising and eventually overwhelm Doomsday?
Well, even assuming Hulk's strength was infinite, his healing factor was not. Don't get me wrong, it can only be overtaxed by hits from absurdly powerful beings such as Zeus or Sentry, whom Doomsday certainly compares.
Naturally,
Doomsday certainly compares? No. This is BS, complete BS. Maybe you can make an argument for Sentry, though I don't know enough about it. I am trying to read more of the Sentry comics and, try to make a video about how strong is he, so stay tuned for that in the future. But no, he is not. From the feats they showed, surviving millions of nukes is nothing. Sentry stays to have an explosion of 1 million suns. I don't know if that's literal or figurative, but whatever it is. So from the feats alone, they showed him nothing more powerful than that. And to say that he has the power of Zeus, bullshit. Like I said, Odin and Zeus are equivalent in power, and Odin fighting against, I think it was Galactus or whoever it was, their punches colliding was basically sending shockwaves throughout multiple, like countless universes and destroying a lot of them, showcasing that he was in multiversal level or high multiversal level. That's how high his strength was. So you're telling me that his strength is equivalent to? No, he's nowhere near Zeus's level. That is complete BS. Zeus is significantly more powerful than him. They're not even close in the same close, bracket of power. Also, no, Hulk does not have a healing factor, taxation. He doesn't have a limit to his healing factor. His healing factor is like his strength. It is infinite and growing. So no, he does not have, oh, you can tax that. That's just a BS excuse to give Doomsday an edge instead of having a real argument. Also, like I said, he's immortal. If he's immortal and can regenerate all the time, then no, he would not have a taxing of his healing factor. If he did have his healing factor did tax out or max out or whatever, then how come he can come back to life every time? That would be far past just regeneration. He can resurrect himself. So yeah, that regeneration thing, incorrect. Also, I want to state once again, Zeus thing, he allowed him to do that. He didn't want to get his healing factor. There was a reason to it. And against Sentry, he did not tax out his healing because he went back to his Incredible Hulk form and was going nuclear and got even more powerful, and he was holding back in that one. So yeah, that's completely wrong.
Crazy strength and speed started wearing that healing factor down.
No.
Here's where it gets a bit...
See, that's BS. If you ask any Hulk fan or fan that knows about the Hulk more than these jackasses that are like really big Hulk fans, they'll tell you no, Hulk does not have a healing factor taxation. Wolverine doesn't have it, and neither does Deadpool. So why the hell would the Hulk have it?
The Hulk may look like a giant
He's
green
immortal.
monster, but he's still technically human, and his power directly correlates with his anger. A human being's anger stems from an increase in hormones and adrenaline in the body. However, the brain can only produce these chemicals at such...
This is the same bullshit that the Imaginary Axis used when he was making his argument, which I'll make some videos on Imaginary Axis. I do think he has some interesting videos and some interesting points, and he's very smart, I'll give him that, but a lot of stuff that he says is complete BS. This guy was saying that, he was saying, I forgot who it was, he said one character has infinite power, and that makes sense, but the Hulk cannot have infinite anger because humans tax out, and it was just like, you do know they're fictional characters, they do not follow the rules of real life. So if you're willing to give another fictional character the ability of infinite strength, which would be impossible, but you're saying, well, he's human, so his brain will stop it. Really? Really? You're gonna give me that bullshit? That shit's stupid. And actually, if you know anything about comic books, the Hulk is not considered human. There was before the World War Hulk thing, or Planet Hulk storyline, when he got sent off by the Illuminati, there was this machine that scanned him and said non-human. He is not human. When he's in his Hulk form, he's a being on another dimension. We see this in the Mortal Hulk storyline where they explain that the Hulk is not just a mutation through the gamma stuff, but it's a being from another dimension that gets connected to the one below all, which is like a being that's like basically the equivalent of the devil compared to God and, the one above all. So no, he is not a human, so he would not be using his human brain. The only human thing that he has is the Bruce Banner controlling his strength from going too far out. But yeah, he's using the same argument that Imaginary Axis said, where he was like, well, he's a human, and humans can't be angry forever. Well, this is a fictional character, and fictional characters can do whatever the fuck they want. A lot of this, if we're going by that shit, a lot of shit these guys do shouldn't be possible. I mean, look at Baki. Those guys are literally legit humans, and doing things that are not humanly possible at all. But we accept it. Why? Because it's fiction. So using human stuff like that, it seems like BS to me. It seems like when you have a character that has a big, powerful ability to handle another character, instead of just accepting that, you want to diminish it by removing it and having some BS reasoning. And this is just a dumb reasoning. His human brain does not affect him as the Hulk. They've stated in the comic books themselves. How can you disagree with the comic books? The comic book said he has infinite strength, and he can get angry infinitely. The shit they do in these comic books, if they can do that, you're really telling me that they want to give him an infinite rage? He can't have infinite rage, but he can have infinite everything else?
...rate for a limited time, eventually giving up and turning apathetic. Therefore, Hulk's limitless power could never have existed without his healing factor. It's the key.
It's the key! You complete fucking bullshit. I don't know where they got this from. It's the key! You lied. It's not the key. It's none of the things that you said it was. First of all, like I said, He does not tax out his healing factor. He's immortal. How can he have a tax out healing factor if he's immortal? Can keep on coming back. They were wrong about him saying Doomsday is strong or this and that, when even Superman said he's stronger than him. Also, Marvel Comics have countless times said he has infinite strength. Even the Beyonder, when he scanned his ability, Beyonder's another he's an outer-versal dimensional character, and this was the time before they, depowered him. He scanned the Hulk, said he has infinite strength, and his strength can never stop growing because of his anger, and it's not tied to his healing factor; it's just tied to his anger. So even a outer-versal being like the Beyonder said it multiple times in the comic books. Why would we listen to Screwtap when the comic books have even made that statement?
Allowed his body to continue producing hormones and adrenaline far beyond the norm, theoretically an endless supply, thus increasing his superhuman power to an immeasurable degree. So, Doomsday overtaxing his healing factor meant the Hulk could no longer maintain his increasing rage and Hulk form.
Like I said, what does the healing factor have to do with his rage? Like, how does that correlate with his rage? That makes no sense. This is one thing I really hate about Screwtack, is they make false assumptions. They make stuff that has been stated in the comic books or in the story or guides, they ignore, but shit that they make up out of their ass, we're supposed to believe them. That his healing factor is connected to his rage, which has never been stated or a thing.
Skeptical. That's why there's a bunch of times in comics when a huge impact forced the Hulk to turn back into Bruce Banner, including that battle between Worldbreaker Hulk and Sentry. With his healing power beaten down, he literally couldn't keep himself angry enough to stay in Hulk mode.
That is a misuse of information. That is literally lying. He went down because at that point, yes, he can lose his power when he overdoes it sometimes, but he can regain it back instantly. I already explained this comic book right after this, when he found out one of his own guys basically did this to him, the whole explosion stuff. He went back into his Hulk form and gained his power back. So it wasn't really a thing. So no, it is not correlated with that. He went literally legit right back into it. And there's been times where he fought even harder and longer, and he's lasted longer. It just depends on whether he feels like it or not.
I love science, but there's still one more thing. Thanks to his battles with Superman and other Kryptonians, Doomsday has evolved to a point where it's basically impossible to kill him with brute force alone.
So Hulk couldn't have killed him by just getting angry enough to punch hard.
Which isn't true, because he's still dying in the comic books currently today by brute force. Brute force alone is still killing him. He's still not so OP that brute force can't kill him.
Than Doomsday ever felt.
Precisely. Here's the proof. Superman and Doomsday eventually had a rematch, in which Superman was much more powerful than their first battle. As we discussed before, Superman's power is also potentially limitless by way of continually absorbing solar energy.
Which is also wrong. I explained in my Goku vs. Superman video, which is my highest rated video once again, which thank you to you guys for that. But in that video I explained that in the All-Star Superman comic book, the whole point of the comic book was Lex tricked Superman to absorb too much solar radiation to the point where it was killing his cells off, and he was going to explode to a supernova. He does live on later on as, Superman Prime 1 million, but the only reason he was able to survive was he collided into the sun that was going to get destroyed and replenished it, which also ended up saving him. If he did not do that, he would have gone supernova and just died. But yeah, he does have a limit to it. His cells are batteries, and batteries have a capacity limit to how much you can absorb. And after a certain amount, it cannot absorb it, or it's going to destabilize, which what happened in the comic book itself. And it's kind of ironic to me that they're saying, well, biologically, your mind cannot be 24 angry completely. You will lose that anger after a while, and that's why the Hulk can't maintain it. But then are also ignoring biology when they're saying his body can absorb the solar radiation, and his body's like a battery. But no, he can do it infinitely. No, he cannot. He does not have an infinite amount of battery life. That's biologically, by their standards, impossible. So if you're going to use biology against the Hulk, we're going to use it against Superman too.
And at this point in his story, he'd begun to discover that.
But try as he might, despite his increased power, Supes could...
Also, I don't think this is the most powerful... I don't think Superman got strong. I think this was probably a weaker version. He legit had a sword. Why the hell would Superman have a sword to be stronger?
Kill Doomsday with blunt force a second time.
Ultimately, Doomsday's immunity to being ripped, impaled, incinerated, blasted with energy, and being beaten by blunt force from both focused and multiple sources means Hulk just didn't have the options available to take Doomsday out before...
Personally, I'm not saying that Hulk would beat Doomsday, but there is one possibility. Let's say he gets strong enough, because I do think he still has infinite rage. He has infinite strength increase, and that at some point he would be so strong, just like how a superpowered being against a human. If a superpowered being punched a human, they would completely obliterate them, right? I feel that if Hulk got strong enough physically, with a single punch, he could obliterate Doomsday. So, like, let's say he punches him so hard that he disintegrates his body, or completely, disintegrates his body. We've seen this happen in other characters, with other fictional characters with power. So it's not like it's impossible. So the way I could see it is Hulk gets infinitely stronger, which he should, infinitely angrier, which he should, gets angry enough, punches Doomsday so hard that he completely disintegrates his body and ends up killing him. So yeah. Also, they even stated that he got killed again the second time through brute force. So he can be killed, even though he has been killed by quite a bit of times like that by Kryptonians and possibly stronger. I don't think he cannot be killed by that at all. I think the Hulk could definitely beat him and kill him. He might come back again stronger, but the death battle is only one death. If you die once and come back, then you're then you lost. So I think Doomsday will lose.
On this day, Hulk met his doom. Doomsday.
So that was Death Battles Hulk versus Doomsday video. A lot of Hulk fans, when they first saw this, they were pissed off, and Marvel fans were pissed off, and rightfully so. This was complete BS. They made up stuff. They gave they gave Hulk limits and limited him on his powers and abilities, but not Doomsday. Doomsday can adapt infinitely, but Hulk cannot get angry infinitely or increase his strength infinitely because of biology or whatever. They do this all the time. When they have a character that should be stronger, they want them to lose, so the way they do it is they lower their stats and make bullshit arguments saying that no, they can't do this or that. It's never been stated in the comic books that he has a limit to how angry he can get, and that his healing factor is completely taxed out. That's just completely made by them. The Hulk fans that were complaining about this and mad about this had a reasonable right to be mad, because it was just complete bullshit. It was asinine. So I agree with the Hulk fans and the Marvel fans that are mad about this. I'm not saying that he would defeat Doomsday. There is a possibility where he can, if he gets like infinitely strong enough and punches strong enough where if he punches him, he can obliterate him. Also, I do think personally that that brute force can still kill him. It will just require higher amount, which Hulk can have, and even Superman say that he's stronger than Doomsday. So yeah, that's it for this video. I will be dropping out a couple more of these death battle videos, because I do want to react to a couple more of them. I'm going to be reacting more to the Marvel versus DC ones, because I think those ones are very important. I did react to technically all the important Dragon Ball ones, so I'm probably not going to do any. Maybe I might do some Dragon Ball ones. I might do him versus Broly and Beerus versus Galaxy or whatever. But I'll probably do that some later time. But for right now, I'm going to try to focus on more the Marvel versus DC death battles, because they have quite a bit of them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I went on, I ranted a little bit and got a little angry. It's just, I don't like when they lie, they bullshit and make stuff up. Like, if you're going to do this, at least try to be fair and try to actually give thorough analysis on who would win, instead of just saying, this character won because I'm going to lie about this other character and make bullshit up. That's what I just don't like. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like this type of content, I'll be releasing more reaction videos to Death Battles, older videos. Hopefully they drop out the new season soon, and they drop out better, fights, so I can react to those, live when they come out. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time.